Welcome to EdTechMoment.com, where we take just a moment to help you integrate technology into your classroom. Today on the show, we're talking about emailing groups. EdTechMoment is brought to you by Audible.com. Visit our special link at audibletrial.com/EdTechMoment and set up your free trial account to help support your EdTechMoment videos. Greetings and welcome back to EdTechMoment.com, where we take just a moment to talk to you about using technology in your classroom. I'm your host, Tim McKean, and today we're going to talk about what is probably the most efficient and yet the most simple way to get information out to a large number of people is a mass email or a group email. Now, a lot of mail programs will have methods or systems in place for setting up group contacts or group mailing lists, but I found that all of these kind of things tend to be a little bit more work than they're worth, and not necessarily the easiest way to send email out to a group. So whether you're communicating to your students or maybe to parents or other staff members, a group email can be a nice, efficient way to get information out to a lot of people. One of the ways that I have chosen to use, and again, this is one of the ways that I found to be the simplest way to set up a group mailing list, is if you look on my screen here, you can see that I've got a simple text file with a list of addresses. And so I've just set up the addresses, and as long as they're separated by commas, then my email program will see them as separate addresses rather than one long address. If I want to take a little bit more setup time on the second example here, I can even put in the person's real name and then put their email addresses into the angled brackets, and then the email program will know that one is their name and then the other is their actual email address. Again, separate those by comments so that the email program knows that they're separate addresses. This really doesn't take a whole lot of setup time, and for me, setting up a text file like this is much quicker than trying to set up a group email list in Gmail or in Outlook. And then this way it's usable and a little bit more flexible. Then I'd also save this text file in something like my Google Docs, or save it in my Dropbox, or you could even save it as a draft email message in your email program so that you've got this list always available to you wherever you happen to be. So once I've got the list set up, I'm going to go ahead and go over to my email program here. So I've got Gmail open. And when I'm ready to compose a message, I hit compose. Now there are several different fields that we can put recipients' email addresses into. The most common is to use the to field, where you're going to send a message to. But some of the ones that not everyone knows about are the CC field. CC stands for a carbon copy. And this is useful if a teacher asks me a question, I respond to them with the answer to their question, and then I might also carbon copy other teachers that had the same question, or carbon copy someone else that's in the same discussion group or something like that, and it helps to reduce redundant emails of that person having to contact someone else with the same information. So a carbon copy is just saying I'm sending it to one person, but I'm also sending a copy to somebody else. All that information is public and visible to the recipient, so that the first teacher knows that the other teacher got a copy, and now they know they don't have to tell them the same information. So it saves time. The other one that we have available here is the BCC, which stands for a blind carbon copy. And what this does is it sends it to one recipient and then also carbon copies it to others, but it doesn't tell them. So this is useful for if I have a parent that's upset about something, complaining about a grade, I can respond to them, but then also send a blind carbon copy to my department chair or maybe to my administrator to keep them in the loop or as a reference, but I'm not giving away the fact that I've copied it to others to that parent. All that they see that the response was to them. Now this is really useful when sending out a group email, because how many times have you received a group email and realized that you could browse through the list of recipients and find other people's email addresses? I've done this several times where I've actually found colleagues' email addresses that I needed just because they received the same newsletter I did or something like that. And then I realized, hey, if I'm able to browse through this list and see their addresses, then they're able to browse through the list and see mine as well. So the person that's sending out that mail is not protecting my privacy very well, because now my address is getting distributed to everyone else on the list as well. So the way that we can avoid this problem is by sending out our email with the list recipients in the blind carbon copy. Let's take a look at how to do that there. So if I take this list, and all I need to do is just select the list that I want to send out to and copy it. And now what I'll do, instead of putting it into the to address, I'll put my own address into the to address, and then I will paste the other recipients into the BCC. Okay? And then I will add a subject and everything like I normally would. Now when I send this message, what it's going to do, it's going to come back to me, and now I have a copy that I can file and archive for future reference without having to dig through my sent files. But it's also going to send copies to everyone else on that mailing list, but all of those addresses are going to be kept blind. They're going to be kept secret. So all the people on the list don't have to see all the other people's addresses. I'm protecting their privacy by not distributing their addresses. Hopefully that helps you to be more efficient in your communication with your students, your parents, and other staff. And be sure to check out other tutorials like this one at edtechmoment.com.
Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to head over to edtechmoment.com to find more tutorial videos like this one. EdTechMoment is supported by audible.com. Visit our link audibletrial.com/edtechmoment to browse over 100,000 Audible books and set up your free trial account. Help support EdTechMoment videos by checking out audible.com at audibletrial.com/edtechmoment. We'd like to hear from you. If you have comments or questions, you can tweet us at EdTechMoment or email us at feedback@edtechmoment.com. And of course, thanks for taking just a moment.